Welcome to Martini Time, my favorite time of the day. I've been, this afternoon I found my Avatar DVD and I watched Avatar again. So I'm all pumped up and ready to go. And I watched it 2 times, I believe, 2 or 3 times when it first came out, which was a number of years ago now. And I wrote a Facebook page on it, which I still add to every now and then, called The Avatar and Voyage to Pandora. And so I'm giving a talk Sunday on the Zen and the art of movies, and Avatar is going to be my first movie topic. And so I watched it again. And watching it again, it was just as good this time as it was the first time. And I wrote down the dialogue as it was going, because there's not a whole lot of dialogue. I mean, the dialogue is basically spiritual punctuations for the story. If you take the dialogue out, it reads like Siddhartha or some spiritual book, and it would be very easy just to have a few little cartoons or something with the dialogue, but the dialogue tells the story, and it's always and it's very potent dialogue, because it's not chitty-chatty dialogue. I mean, it's really Zen dialogue. So, and what I want to dwell on, what I'm dwelling on right now, is the structure of the movie, in that it starts out in the first person. Jake Sully is, let me see myself here. Jake Sully is telling a story. And it comes out the story is on a video log that he was making during this, quote, scientific experiment he was involved in Pandora. This Avatar project, where where you were able to merge with a avatar body through your DNA compatibility, and he was DNA with his brother. That's why he went there. But anyway, if you haven't seen the movie, I hate to explain the whole thing again. But what I'm talking about right now is that I just noticed when I watched it this time, how that it was all basically video dialogue. So he's told to make a video dialogue for the scientific project as he goes through this adventure, and it ends with him signing off. This is Jake Sully. I'm signing off. It's my birthday. and he is melded with the avatar body and becomes, we don't know, he woke up. Oh, like Buddha woke up. We don't know where Jake Sully went. So it's kind of like you maybe have stumbled upon this video log in these abandoned civilization, where these sky people had come to Pandora and created this little alien enclave there. And you stumble upon this video log of this guy named Jake Sully, and he tells you about the adventures, and then he signs off, and there's nobody there. Where did he go, you see? It's just very interesting how James Cameron framed this story. It's also like, it reminds me of a wedding cake. You get a wedding cake, it's got layers. Well, there's a layer in Avatar for everybody. I mean, it could be, it's all about ecology and how we're destroying the earth, And oh no, it's all about how we destroyed the Native Americans, the tribal people. So everybody can get a piece of cake and take it home and say, that's what Avatar is about? No, it's not about that. It's about no, it's about this. No, it's about this, you see. And have a cake fight. But there's in a wedding cake, there's a little couple on the top, and the bride and groom will take that little top tier home, and they'll put that in the freezer, so they can feed that to each. I guess they feed that to each other, thaw it out next year, and reenact the wedding cake. So I like to get down to the core, what is the core of this cake, you see? And I really think that it's a core formula. I see Buddhism everywhere, so don't, who am I? So it's really like it's a movie. This is what a metaphor is anyway. It's an extended metaphor that invites you to make a leap. That invite like a Zen koan. It invites you to make a leap beyond logic, beyond the layers of reason, and beyond the layers of the known, and make a leap so that you are suddenly je suis Jake Sully. I am Jake Sully. You see, that's a leap from being Jake Sully's being an object in a movie, a character, or I am Jake Sully. That's a Zen leap. Whenever you make that leap, and you're seeing an object and so forth, and then suddenly you are that object, and you see it from the other side. In other words, there's a melding there of the subject and the object. Krishnamurti always saying, the observer and the observed are one. Well, if you're watching Avatar, for instance, and you suddenly have the satori, or the snap, where you see that I am Jake Sully. Jake Sully is me. That's where the observer and the observed are one. Normally we look at a movie and we suspend disbelief, but we know that we're not the guy in the movie, but we pretend we are, and we enjoy the movie, and we come out and we pick up our old self. And we feel the better for being in the movie, but it soon begins to fade. Maybe we watch it again to reenact the movie, you see. But there's no transubstantiation, there's no transmutation of the way you are in the world yet. Just temporary relief. That's the way most people see movies, temporary relief. A little vacation from me. I put my persona, my little self at the door. I leave the shoes at the door of the movie theater. I go in and turn off the lights, and I suspend disbelief that this is not real. I pretend it is real, and then I can participate and play all the different characters in the movie, you see, just like I do in a dream. Now, the thing about with Avatar is that you really identify with Jake Sully, and you really identify with the Navi character. These two poles, you see. One represents the sky, the mind. The other represents the body. And intuition or awareness, or this everything in the Navi world, Pandora world, was unified. Everything in the sky world was divided, was fragmented, you see. Fragmentation versus unity. So there's a very profound theme going on here about how to unify my fragmented mind that sees everything as an it, including myself. You see, judgment, that's a good it, that's a bad it, I'm good, I'm bad. Everything's broken. The bread is broken. The Holy Grail is broken into fragments, you see, and that's the sky people world. They're just a bunch of its. You can pull up a tree here, they can move. There's no sacred tree. Nothing's sacred here. Just what's it good for? You see. So this whole consciousness of the Western civilization, is kind of like on trial in this movie. And of course, we're reaching the end of this dinosaurs' life on Earth, our Western Newtonian world of its, materialism and all that, you see. So it's running against the end of its capacity to answer questions and provide a satisfying life. So Avatar is really projecting a future for the evolution of consciousness, and how to be creative in a world of change. How do we get back in touch? One thing I really identified with, I've just got a little time left, but was when Jake Sully, who had lost his legs, and he woke up for the first time in his avatar body. It was like taking cataracts off everything, the body, everything he could feel, his feet, his legs, the joy and all that. And I really related to that because when I had a massive stroke of an awakening that in 1968 that paralyzed my ego for weeks, I discovered my body. I was doing yoga postures. I could ride my motorcycle like Evel Knievel. I was fearless. Suddenly my body was alive, as if I was born again in my body. It was very interesting, and I really related to that with Jake Sully's discovery of his body. So anyway, my bell rang, so thanks for dropping in.